Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday, September the 17th. I hope everyone is doing well today. I want to provide you with the economic stimulus update regarding the new stimulus bill, the new bipartisan, I should say, stimulus bill that was released by that small caucus within the Congress. So I'm going to give you some of the details about what's included in this bill and what's not included in this bill. And lastly, the likelihood of this pushing forward and becoming law. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about all that coming up next. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Zachary Shelton Jr., and I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Warwick Shore Advisors. We are a wealth and investment management firm located in Orlando, Florida, with clients all across the United States. If this is your first time coming to my channel or seeing one of my videos, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell so that you can get an update each time I post a new video. And lastly, please like and share this video to help me increase the financial literacy of our globe. So let's jump right into today's topic. And we're going to be discussing the new proposal that was brought forth by the Problem Solvers Caucus within Congress. So it's a separate group, about 50 lawmakers from both sides of the aisle that have come together in agreement on the things that have been drafted in this bill that I'm going to read to you. Additionally, I want to note that this is most of the things that they put in here, most of them, not all of them, but majority of the items in here are things that have garnered approval by Republicans and by Democrats. Hopefully, that will mean that it won't take forever to get pushed through. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some of the insight on the things that are in here, and I'm going to read from my notes here so I can make sure that I get everything correct. But I'm going to give you the list of the things that are included and then some of the things that are not included on there. So the first thing, and one of the most important things that everyone has been looking forward to, is that direct payment of $1,200 to all individual taxpayers. Now, this is what it says on here. There will be $1,200 direct stimulus checks to American taxpayers. This is something that has been, supported by the Democratic lawmakers, but it has received some resistance and rejection by the Republican leaders in Congress. So we'll see how that goes. As we know, the skinny bill, which was drafted by the Republican-led Senate, did not have anything or any provision for the $1,200 direct stimulus payment, although it was noted by Congress or by the Senate that they were open to that and that they agreed to having that in there. It was not part of their skinny bill. And the president did mention before that he is open to doing something bigger, greater, and better than what was done previously in the CARES Act. So at minimum, everyone was expecting that the $1,200 would be in there. So it's in this bill that's been provided by the caucus. So hopefully this will re-engage both sides of the aisle and move forward with that in there. Secondly, there's an injection of cash that will be provided to that Paycheck Protection Program to support small businesses. Now, this is very, very important because this is something that has garnered bipartisan support in the past. And small businesses are really the backbone of our economy. They're the backbone of this country. I run a small business. Small businesses need that help when it comes to paycheck protection. We need the help when it comes to being able to continue to provide those services that everyone is accustomed to in our local communities. So that's something that's in there. The next thing is the unemployment insurance bonus. Now, what they're offering is an extension of the enhanced unemployment benefits, which lapsed, as we know, back on July 31st. The enhancement will be an amount of $450 per week, and that'll last for an 8-week period, which at that time, there's a possibility of an additional 5 weeks that can be given at an amount of $600 per week for an additional 5 weeks. So there's $450 that will be provided for the first 8 weeks, and then an additional $600 that will be provided for additional 5 weeks after that. Now, there's some line items and stipulations for that additional amount that's going to be given in there, but the possibility is there. This is something that Democrats have proposed. They proposed the $600 up front, and we know there was a large disparity between Democrats and Republicans. The Republicans only wanted to do the $200 initially. Then it went up to the $300, and we've kind of been stuck at that disparity between the $600 and the $300 as of now. So $450 kind of puts us right in the middle of the road. Hopefully, again, this will garner steam and allow us to be able to move forward with something that is concrete. The next thing that's on there is direct aid to cities and states. The amount is less than what Democrats had originally proposed, but Republicans had balked at any level of state and local aid. So this is one of those caveats that's inside of this bill that does not have bipartisan support, but hopefully it doesn't hold up anything. The Republicans really don't want to provide any more state funding or additional funding for states and local governments, especially as they mentioned before, for states that are mismanaged. And ironically, a lot of those mismanaged states, they say, are the Democratic states, which kind of puts a tinge on why they're doing that at the time now when we're close to an election. So there's some politics that could be behind that. The last thing that I want to go over that is included in the in this new proposal, in this new bill, is the possibility for support for coronavirus testing and public health initiatives, as well as funding for schools and the U.S. Postal Service. Now, we know the House Democrats passed a separate legislation a month ago about the U.S. Postal Service, providing them funding to at least give us a stopgap through the election season. So it looks like this is something that is added to this new bill as well as protection, adding enhanced, I should say, help for all the school systems out there with PP&E and funding to help them get back to some normalcy in their school life, which we know we all need. I have a fourth grader and a first grader, and it's rough, to say the least. It is very rough. So that normalcy in the school day is something that is needed. The funding for that is something that is needed to help support our teachers, support our faculty and staff, and make sure everyone is safe and have a good learning environment. That's very key, because right now there's a significant amount of learning loss that is taking place with our kids, especially those early learning kids, those that are up through 4 years old and younger, and then those that are, kindergarten, first and second grade. They really haven't had the chance to establish the foundation for their learning going forward. So those kids that are in that sweet spot there are really, really having a significant amount of learning loss without being in a normalized environment, or normalized, I should say, scholastic environment. The next thing that's on here, and that is not, I should say, included in this proposal, is any additional student loan relief. So, President Trump did extend out the CARES Act through December 31st in regards to federal loan relief. So there's nothing for those private loans out there. So this bill did get some negative feedback because we were hoping to see an extension for those that have private loans out there to receive some assistance. This bill doesn't do it. So as of right now, there is still no help on those private loans. We know so many people have private loans and federal loans, or so many people just have those private loans only, and they're still having to pay those. And if they're unable to pay, they're getting dinged on their credit report, which is very, very unfortunate at this moment in time. Lastly, the total cost of the bill that they put together is $1.5 trillion, which is right in the middle between the $3 trillion, $3.4 trillion bill by the Democrats and the little less, or I should say the $500 billion skinny bill that was proposed by the Republicans. So hopefully we'll work closer to have a meeting of the minds. I'm happy to hear that there was 50 lawmakers that got together to draft this bill, and those 50 lawmakers were made up of Democrats and Republicans. So hopefully we can get something moving sooner than later. I don't want to go through election season without having a bill or at least something passed that we can have moving forward with our economy. If this is your first time coming to my channel, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell so that you can get an update each time I post a new video. And lastly, please like and share this video to help me increase the financial literacy of our globe. Thank you so much and have a great day.